whole bunch. And thank you to the budding artists who have helped decorate Bryan's vessel for us today. And there will be another opportunity later on for anyone who still wants to come and write or leave some kind of message, make your mark. In whatever way, send Bryan your love through paint or drawing or whatever later on during the ceremony. None of us want to be here today. The natural order of the world has been tilted on its axis. Parents are not meant to survive their children. Young love should become old love, and children and toddlers should have their dad holding their hand. But the choice is not ours to choose. So what we will do is what Bryan would want us to do. He would want us to celebrate his life. He would want us to laugh while sharing stories about him. He would want us to raise a glass to his life. He would want all of you to feel grateful for the time that you got to share with him. And we will do that, while supporting Carly, Jasmine, Daisy, Steve, Suzanne, Adam and Samantha, as well as all of you who loved him. We hold all of you today in our loving embrace. Today is your day. It's a day to honour and pay tribute to Bryan and say the farewells that many of you may not have had the chance to say. Allow your tears to flow freely. They hold your love and sadness. Allow your laughter to be heard, because they hold your love and joy of life. Your emotions are yours to feel, and this is a safe place to feel them and to share them. Grief is a natural response to loss. It's the emotional suffering you feel when someone you love is taken away. Often the pain of loss can feel overwhelming. You may experience all kinds of difficult and unexpected emotions, from shock or anger to disbelief, guilt, and profound sadness. For most people, healing will occur with time. Grief is a process or journey that affects everyone differently. It's not a place to dwell, but rather a state that you learn to live with. I read a beautiful description of grief that I'd love to share with you. It may help you to make sense of what you're feeling. Grief is like the ocean, a constant surge of waves, a continual collection of salt and tears. Sometimes grief is loud, both tidal and tempestuous, an overwhelming pain that breaks you open and crashes against your heart. Other times it's quiet, discreet, hiding between the surface, presenting itself as a steady hush of longing. Grief is full of unknowns that can only be discovered when swimming in its depths. Some days, sorrow and joy will be intertwined, a delicate dance of dark and light. Both deserve to be softly held, both belong. When grief calls you to its edge, tread gently, for no matter what you feel, you are always held by love. You cannot slow down the ocean, you cannot tame the sea. So ache, laugh, break, mend. Let your emotions flow. Driven by the tides, your pain will recede, but like a persistent undercurrent, a sense of longing may never leave. And that's the art of living, but never letting go. If you're ever lost in the infinite sea, may you find peace in knowing that unending grief is also endless love. For grief may try to weigh you down, but your love for Bryan will carry you, always. Bryan Harrison was born on August 26, 1982 in Newcastle, was the beloved son to Stephen and Suzanne. From a young age, he forged deep connections with a close-knit group of friends who stood by him through life's many challenges and triumphs. Bryan's love for his friends and family was immense. He was a gentle giant whose vibrant personality drew people in. His presence was unmistakable, and he thrived in the spotlight, always ready to share a laugh or a story. Despite his larger-than-life demeanour, Bryan was known for his sweetness, kindness, and sense of humour. He approached life with a light-hearted spirit, never taking things too seriously. Music was his true passion, and he immersed himself in the sounds of the 60s and 70s with favourites like The Doors, David Bowie and Pink Floyd. His guitar was a constant companion, a tool through which he expressed his creativity and love for the art. Carly described Bryan as a sensitive man who was unafraid to discuss his feelings. He encouraged her to embrace her emotions, fostering a deeper understanding of vulnerability and connection. Bryan's legacy is one of love, laughter, and the power of friendship, leaving an indelible mark on all who knew him. As a father, Bryan was a loving, caring, playful, and nurturing. When Jazzy and Days were babies, he was so good at getting them to sleep. He was always happy to get up to them in the middle of the night. Integrating his two passions, music and his family, Bryan would make up music on the fly to entertain those around him, often about what was happening that day or what was happening right now. The girls would tell him a story and he'd make it into a song, and they will carry such special memories of those times. Bryan was so proud of Carly, Jazzy and Days and would tell them that constantly. He was proud to be their hubby and dad, but Carly says that they were the lucky ones. We'll now hear tributes from those who love Bryan the best, and we're going to start with his dad, Steve. You up to it, Steve? Oh, for the live stream. No one will be able to hear the live stream if you don't use the mic.
My beautiful son, Bryan Todd Harrison, and son to Sue. Much loved by all his family and friends, and a special love for his soulmate, Carly, and beautiful Jasmine and Daisy. He had much love for his mother, Sue, and partner Stan, and family. His grandmother Jean and husband Jerry and Jean's extended family. He loved his auntie, his grandmother Jean. Close bonds with Auntie Di, who he loved dearly, and her children Corey and Courtney. His love for Carly's family and their children, and Jasmine and Daisy's cousins. Bryan had a special bond with Adam and Sam. They were not his step-brother and step-sister, and he would make that known to me many, many times. Sam and Adam were brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters, all departed now, thought the world of Bryan, and he would love the family gatherings at my brother's home in Eleebana, at Christmas with all his cousins. It was a great time, and we loved it and enjoyed it immensely. Bryan was also embraced by Helen's family, and to them, he was just the big, cuddly, loving teddy bear that everyone wanted to cuddle. He was just such a loving soul. The love he had from his lifelong friends, Dominic, Brendan, Josh, and all the other friends that he made along the way. They were very, very close, and bonds were formed forever there. I would really like to say a special thanks to Dominic's mum for making Bryan's hospital stays that much more comfortable. By about this time when I'm talking, I can feel his presence and he'd be telling me, "Old fella, get on with it." And get to the beer and the food. Bryan's birth, I can tell you, it was immense. Sue went through a very arduous and very, very long birth. That lifelong bond was formed that day. Bryan finally arrives, and with his grandmother Jean and myself, we were asked to go to the birthing window. In those days at the Western Suburbs Hospital, which is no longer operates as a hospital, Jean was standing next to me at the viewing window. Bryan was brought in, they unwrapped his cloth and changed it, and Jean looked at me and said, "How big is that?" I am myopic, for people that don't know. It's a severe short-sightedness, and I could make it out as well. Bryan insisted that we never stop talking about this. His sense of humour, and so I owe him one. Rumours abounded at that hospital for many years that Bryan's birth was the birth of the baby with the largest penis. A record he was immensely proud of. And I know from discussions with his many friends, he reiterated it often. Bryan would want to ensure that most people knew about it, and he certainly did. Bryan, growing up, loved pranks. His sense of humour was very, very well known, and that chuckle when he'd got one on you at the end was always there. One of my first experiences when he was very young, and we took him to Cairns. I picked him up from Sue's home, he had his bag ready, and off we went to the airport. We got to security, and sure enough, they said, "Could you open this bag?" I didn't know what was coming, but inside were a couple of fart bombs. Security were not impressed, but Bryan thought it was extremely funny. Bryan loved a laugh and was the life of the party. He would never go home. We tried many times to get him to leave, but he wasn't going anywhere. Or, if you wanted to leave, he'd drag you back. The constant pranks played on me at all hours of the night on his phone and with Adam of various pictures of both of us that he doctored. I blame now on Carly for not making him go to bed, but it went on all night. Carly must have gone to bed because it wouldn't stop. He loved his precious guitars, he loved his music, and he sent us so many memories of songs that he did during his life, and also songs and albums that he loved. And we have a mountain of that information on messages, etc., and that is one thing we'll always cherish. Yeah. Then the major news hit, and it's not what you think I'm going to say. But Bryan called me up to tell me that he'd gone to Ancestry.com. And proceeded to tell me that we are not Harrison. In fact, we are Roden. And he thought that was quite funny, but it proved the links going back to his Viking heritage, which he loved and cherished immensely. I want to mention his last months when he returned from his road trip with Carly. They were wonderful times. Difficult times, but wonderful for the time I got to spend with him and the laughter in my car. I'd pick him up on a Tuesday, whether it was for radiation, doctor's visits, infusions, and we laughed. And we'd come to Dixon Park, Nobby's, Bar Beach, Merriweather, sit, have coffee, fish and chips, and reminisce and talk about the family and all those memories. I'd like to, on behalf of Carly and the family, some special thanks though to the staff of the John Hunter and Mater hospitals. They were also caring for Bryan and wonderful to him. His neurosurgeon, Catherine Johnson, and the team that kept going back in to help him keep going in his fight. I would like to thank the team at Opalescent who managed to keep him alive when he had his seizure at work. And he told me Opalescent and the job there was the career that he'd been looking for and finally found. Thanks to the wonderful help and support of the Mark Hughes Foundation. And if anyone's thinking of donating to a charity, I would certainly suggest the Mark Hughes Foundation. They do such great work. And to Michael for organising Bryan and Carly's GoFundMe page so they could do that final trip. Thank you, my friend, immensely, from the bottom of my heart. Got it.
It's okay.
Yeah, I've lost it now. He'd say, where is it now?
It was this one, wasn't it?
That's it. I, like Carly and the family, had hope for a miracle cure. And Bryan fought bravely to the end, hoping for that cure. But the miracle never came. But when he passed in that final week, I then realised the miracle was to have had Bryan as a son, a father, a husband, a friend. And he will remain in our hearts forever. I can feel him now. Okay, big fella, it's time to close up. Bryan, you're on your way to Valhalla, and there's going to be a party up there with your relatives, all waiting for you, son. Love you immensely.
When I was a little kid, spending time with my older brother meant the world to me. I would always pester him to play my favourite songs on his guitar. Bryan was more than a brother, he was a best friend, a gentle giant with a big heart and a big smile. Those who knew Bryan would probably agree. He was often the funniest guy in the room. There was hardly a dull moment with him around. He loved to make his friends and family, workmates laugh with his dark humour. Bryan had such a unique personality, and I'm grateful to have had him in my life. While the laughs will never be the same without him, he will never be forgotten. Farewell, Bryan, you will be dearly missed. I also have a letter from Bryan's neurosurgeon. Dear Mr. Harrison, many thanks for getting in touch and my heartfelt condolences on the loss of your son. He was a fighter from day one, and he certainly put his best foot forward at every step of the journey. Time is so precious, and if I contributed to giving Bryan more quality time, which she did, I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much for getting in touch. It was a true pleasure caring for him. All my thoughts are with you and your family at this time. Take care, Catherine.
I think I can speak for everyone in the room today when I say that Bryan was a beautiful, bright light in this world with the warmest and kindest soul. To have known someone like Bryan was a blessing and a gift. I'm extremely lucky and proud to call Bryan my brother, as he was someone who was never afraid to be himself, and that has always inspired me that he lived his life authentically as who he truly was. He was kind, gentle, loving, talented, and had a larger-than-life personality. Bryan showed immense strength and courage throughout his battle with cancer, and I will always admire him for the fight he put up every day to be here. The lives that Bryan touched during his time here is evident with the amount of people that have shown up today to celebrate his life with us. Bryan had an unforgettable sense of humour and an infectious smile that drew people towards him instantly. He always knew how to keep everyone laughing and the party going. The lovely Carly was lucky enough to spend the last 12 beautiful years together with Bryan, sharing jokes and laughs every day while raising their two gorgeous daughters, Jazzy and Daisy. The bond that they shared together was something very special, and we couldn't have asked for a better woman to have been by Bryan's side throughout his last years here. We are forever grateful that Bryan got to experience what a real true love was with Carly and the joy of being a father. It's been an absolute blessing to have an amazing and loving brother like Bryan in my life, and there is a place in my heart, as I'm sure many others, that will now feel very empty with his passing. My heart goes out to everyone here that's feeling the loss of Bryan today and in the days to come. Bryan, I hope wherever you are, the colours are brighter, the music is even better, and the world is kinder. We love you and miss you so much.
Thank you. They were beautiful tributes. Now, has anyone else prepared any other tributes? We'd love to hear from some other family and some of Bryan's friends. Just come on up. Just introduce yourself first.
I'll try. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Brendan. I met Bryan probably 20 years ago, and he has been like a brother and a really good friend in that time. So I had a speech, kept going backwards and forwards, but I thought realistically, I spent a lot of time in the car with Bryan for a lot of time working, probably too much time I would have thought. And there's three things that he really has that have changed me as I grew up, and he's had a direct impact on me, so I thought I might share those with you. One of them, obviously in the car a lot, and we had to have lunch a lot of times. Lunch is lunch. It doesn't matter how long you have to get lunch. it's okay to drive around for 60 minutes to find that burger you really like. Must say though, I've never had a bad burger when we've done that. So, been late to a fair few jobs though. The second one is life is too short to take it seriously. He definitely taught me this, because when I first met him, I probably did it. So he did teach me to take the stick out of my ass and have a laugh at yourself. 3, everyone has a story and everyone has a talent. So even if it isn't something that you're into, take the time, appreciate them for who they are, and listen to the talents that they have and the story that they've got.
The beauty of having a memorial, a funeral, whatever you want to call it, a celebration of life at a venue like this is that we do have all the time in the world. So anyone else would like to speak? Come on, you know you want to. Okay. All right, if you're all too shy, you'll share your stories later. We have had a beautiful photo tribute made by Corey Sinclair, so I'm going to share that with you now. And thank you for your indulgence. Leaving the baby boomer in charge of the technology might not be the best idea, but I think we're doing okay. So.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a
That was absolutely beautiful. We now have the opportunity for you all to come and make your mark if you haven't already done so on the coffin, or even if you have, come and do some more. I'm going to work out how to put the music back on again. So everyone just come up and make your mark. everyone. Hi, everyone. Can I ask everyone, please, just to take their seats just for another couple of minutes? Thank you very much. If everyone could just take their seats just for another couple of minutes. We're just going to finish off the ceremony. Bryan's going to leave us shortly, and then the wake will be in full swing. Did you have some more words?
The food will be served.
I know, we're nearly done. All right, everyone. So if I can just have everyone's attention just for a couple of minutes. If you're just getting a drink, maybe if you could just wait a couple of minutes, that would be amazing. Thank you. So if we can have everyone's attention. It doesn't matter if you keep on standing. If you've got a drink, that's great. I think Bryan would like that. We're just going to have some closing words and just say our final farewell to Bryan. So have I got everyone's attention now, please, everyone? Anyone who's still chatting, if you're standing next to someone who's chatting and you can hear me, can you just rein it in for me? We're nearly there, thank you. Okay. So just a few closing words for Bryan. A few closing words. And sometimes there just aren't the words. That was a good segue, wasn't it? Sometimes there just aren't the words. No words are adequate. Instead, we can harness our ability to feel and think and express in our own special ways. And so we're going to say our goodbyes to Bryan by listening to one of his favourite songs at the end and by honing in on your own individual emotions. During that song, will the pallbearers please come forward to carry Bryan back to the hearse? And would everyone please follow, don't bring your drinks outside, just pop them down for a minute. But if everyone who wants to would please follow and line the driveway in a final tribute to him as he drives away. And then please come back in for refreshments, which I know they're dying to serve, and lots of storytelling of your own. Because by speaking often of Bryan, you're going to keep his memory alive. His journey doesn't end today. Bryan will live on through Carly, Jazzy and Days. Reach out to them often in the coming weeks and months to offer your love and support. And please stand if you can for our final farewell. Bryan, what a wonderful life you lived and what an impact you've made on others. There's no doubt today that at the end of your time here, you've left behind so many hearts that are aching, but you've also left behind so many tears of pain and grief, but my goodness, you've left behind so many beautiful memories and a warm legacy of love for your family and friends. And so it is with love and gratitude that we now commit all of those fond memories to be locked away in our hearts as we gently yield your body to its end with nature. We celebrate you, we honour you, but most of all, we pay tribute to that consistent love and sense of fun that you always shared so willingly with Carly, Jazzy, Days, Steve, Suzanne, Adam and Samantha, as well as your extended family and the comradeship with your friends, and they'll never forget you. In that certain knowledge, Bryan, may you rest in peace.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone, and actor all alone. Riders on the storm, there's a killer